Lawyer says prosecution of Nnamdi Kanu no longer lawful and slams Nigerian government. He described any attempt to prosecute Kanu under the Terrorism Prevention Amendment Act 2013 as legally indefensible, procedurally improper, and morally unjustifiable. Human rights lawyer Barrister Christopher Chidera has criticized the Nigerian government's decision to restart the prosecution of Nnamdi Kanu, the detained leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, from scratch. He described any attempt to prosecute Kanu under the Terrorism Prevention Act 2013 as legally indefensible, procedurally improper, and morally unjustifiable. Chidera urged Tinubu's administration to promptly engage in peaceful negotiations to resolve the matter amicably before midnight on Thursday, 20th March 2025. He warned the failure to do so could lead to the exposure of high-profile corruption, systemic failures, and injustices within Nigeria's judicial system. In a statement released over the weekend in Abuja, it was highlighted that Nnamdi Kanu's case serves as a stark illustration of the vulnerabilities within Nigeria's legal and judicial system when faced with the relentless pursuit of justice and self-determination. The statement emphasized that the section of the Terrorism Prevention Amendment Act 2013, which the prosecution has relied upon, is no longer an active law in Nigeria. In any case, they want to use an inactive law, a law that is moribund, a law that is not supposed to be used again. They now want to use it against Muslim Americans. That is preposterous to say the least. If it further argued that attempting to proceed under a repealed statute amounts to a violation of the long-standing doctrine of stare decisis, a principle that upholds the consistency and integrity of justice in common law systems. He said, Nigeria's courts lack the substantive jurisdiction to try Kanu under a legal relic, and any attempt to do so constitutes a direct assault on his constitutional rights to a fair hearing and protection from retroactive punishment. The prosecution's feeble reliance on Section 98, subsection 3 of the Terrorism Prevention Act of 2022, claiming continuity of proceedings, collapses under scrutiny. A de novo trial is a fresh proceeding, not an extension of a defunct case. The government's legal acrobatics cannot mask this fundamental truth. The procedural jurisdiction to prosecute Kanu under the 2013 Act evaporated with its repeal. To persist is to invite ridicule and condemnation from both Nigerian citizens and the international community. Reports indicating that Nnamdi Kanu would take up his own defense on 21st March 2025 mark a pivotal moment in this unfolding saga. By successfully prompting the recusal of the prominent Justice Binta Nyako, despite institutional pushback, and securing the involvement of the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Kanu has showcased his ability to challenge what he perceives, rightly or wrongly, as a prejudiced judicial system. If he proceeds to represent himself, the prosecution will encounter a formidable opponent equipped not only with sharp legal expertise but also the moral authority of a cause that resonates deeply with millions. He said, the twists and turns Kanu's self-representation will ignite legal fireworks, exposing the dirty underbelly of Nigeria's judiciary, its inconsistencies, its biases, and its susceptibility to political manipulation. The government's ability to control the narrative will crumble as Kanu commands the courtroom and the court of public opinion. This is no ordinary case. It is the most consequential in Nigeria's history, a crucible in which the judiciary's credibility will be tested under unprecedented global scrutiny. Ordinary Nigerians, captivated by this drama, await the unraveling of legal arguments and the revelation of which laws and prosecution will twist to sustain its faltering case. Yet, the truth is inescapable. Nigeria cannot win. Convicting Kanu is a legal impossibility and a political miscalculation of historic proportions. His detention, his suffering, and his endurance for the Biafran cause have galvanized a movement that cannot be, be criminalized or intimidated into silence. The statement urged Tinubu's government to halt the planned prosecution and pursue an amicable resolution with Nnamdi Kanu before midnight on 28th of March 2025. It warned that failure to do so could result in the exposure of corruption and systemic decay within Nigeria's judicial system. He said, political dissent cannot be extinguished by force, and the Biafran struggle will not be subdued by crackdowns or detention without trial. Kanu's resolve is unshakable, and his platform on 21st March will amplify a truth the government cannot suppress. Nigeria's judiciary lacks the authority and legitimacy to try him. Now, this is what a lawyer, a practicing lawyer in the country has to say. It is clear to all, very clear to even the blind, very visible to the blind that what the Nigerian government is doing is completely wrong and out of the normal and unconstitutional. It is just a method of suffering a man who has done nothing wrong but only request for freedom for his people. This must not be allowed to continue. The people must stand and protest vigorously to ensure that it stands. And in this note, it is pertinent that everyone, also all must at this point respect the 21st of March sit at home. There should be a sit at home and there will be a sit at home, and everybody, just as proclaimed by the People's Republic of in exile, deputized by Oge Ikere, the acting prime minister, and also as it has been said and published by the Biafra government in homeland, headed by General Levi Butozo. It must remain that way. It must remain that way. And the Biafran people must understand that we must, at this point, begin to protest rigorously and vigorously to ensure that this nonsense does not continue, and that our innocent people who are being captured by the Nigerian state must be released. Must be released. Thank you for listening. It is Pepper Pets.